So hello everyone, welcome to the arena perspective for the Priest of Witchwood expansion, and right away here, this is my favorite card coming here for the whole expansion, it's Chameleos. I think it's an amazing card. Priest is my favorite class, probably, yeah, I play Priest or Shaman probably the most. And I actually played both of those classes in WoW as well, and Death Knight, so, you know. His guess is going to Anyway, Chameleos then, I mean, come on guys, this is the best card. So, every turn, this card changes to an opponent's card, right? And this is amazing. So exactly, I think this is going to be an absurdly good control card. It's going to tell you what the opponent has, what legendary it has, what removal it has. It's so freaking good. And it's going to be an amazing card. Exactly. Absolutely. If Priest can play control, they're going to play this card. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be the best card, right? It gives you so much information. And in Arena, then, this is a good card. I think it's just pretty good in Arena as well. I mean, it's less good as constructed, but if you have it in your hand and you can see that, oh, he has this removal, oh, he has a dragon of 5 potions, okay, and so on. That is very important. And is your opponent gonna know you have this in your hand? You know, they probably won't expect that, right? So it gives you a lot of information here. So it probably is very good in the arena as well. It's a little luck based in arena because usually you're gonna see mainly kind of half crappy minions, and if you see the spells, that is much better, right? So it's kind of like, you know, you want to see the spells, but I think it's going to be good anyway in arena. Not the best legendary, but probably a lot. I'll assume a lot better than the other legendary at least coming here for Priest. So I think it's probably a 7 or 10 legendary probably in arena for Priest. With good luck, is the easy 10 or 10, but because of luck. And late game you can probably trigger, figure their legend or something. So the next card then, it's called Squashling. So Squashling, I think, is very similar to the Mastiff, right? It has the same cost, same stuff for that matter. But also, I mean, it's similar because this is a pretty good battle cry. I think it is, because you pay 1 mana for per life, which is not that good. But as you can play it, you can heal like 2 minions, you can heal 2 different minions here, right? You can heal your 2/2 heal minion for 4 mana. You can heal yourself for 10 life, if you play 5 of them, right? And so on. So, yeah, it has a lot of flexibility. You can trigger this other card you see later here, right? You can trigger the heal effects as a dragon coming last here. But generally, this to me is actually a pretty good card in arena because usually your life isn't that important. But as a late game card, if you have this, you top this card, it's first turn 10, you just have 10 life and get 5 2/1s at turn 10. That actually, to me, in arena sounds pretty sweet. Yeah, if you can't remove this, a lot of card value, it's a lot of card value. It's 10 mana, but you're talking like, in top situation here, it's actually pretty good in arena. And you definitely won't die. Well, very unlikely. So that has some potential. And otherwise you can heal like 2-3 different minions, right? So yeah, I think it's a pretty good card, especially if triggering effects. But generally, as an uncommon card, yeah, I think it's good. I think it actually feels quite fair to like a 2-1 for 2 with this effect. That feels quite fair to me. If it had, would it be better as a 1-2? Probably not. Survive some stuff, but I think this is better because 1/2s are not as threatening. So yeah, should be a great card. Then we have Divine Hume, classic priest ability, right, in the actual game of World of Warcraft. And here's just AoE heal as with the game, heal stuff. I don't know. As an uncommon card, it's pretty bad. You don't want to pick this card too often, but this is actually a lot of life points for 6 and only your characters. I'm thinking this card actually might be good. This card actually might be surprisingly good for arena. Usually healing your minion isn't that good, but this is 6 life, which is definitely enough to pretty much max heal all your minions. And it's also healing when he's their minion, it's only your minion. So yeah, if you have a lot of tough guys, which it probably has as a priest, a lot of high health minions, this might actually be a very good arena card. But I am definitely a little like, maybe it's a good arena card. It's hard to tell, but I think it probably is good actually, as long as you have very high health minion, a lot of them, very mid-range or probably late game priest deck, very high, high mana cost priest deck. Then it probably is good. But that being said though, you never play this at turn 2, never at turn 3, never at turn 4, probably at turn 4. This is probably early at turn 6, 7 play, which makes it a little weird in arena. So yeah, it's probably some generally bad one. Then we have Vivid Nightmare. So this is one of those clone cards, but they have 1 life left. Obviously you can heal them as a priest, so that's not a big issue. Generally, I think it's a pretty good card. Obviously you can copy death rattling, and as we all know, priest has a lot of death rattling minions, right? So yeah, there's a lot of value there. You can get the different, especially of course the yeah the 4/8, right? But even without that level, if you play it at turn 5, you can heal something as well, and that's like you pay 5 mana, you get a copy of what you have with 3 life. I think that's a fair way to get this card. Is that better than Molten Reflection? No. Molten Reflection is just 4 mana, get it. Yeah, you should get that minion. So, is it worse than Molten Reflection? Probably. But it's one cheaper, yeah. So, in Constructed, it definitely has a massive impact if you can plug in the right minion and so on. In Arena, it probably is a worse Molten Reflection. And that's kind of like, yeah. So I think it's playable, but it's not the best card. But actually, I would say this though. Molten Reflection, I think, is quite a good card in Arena. It's not the fantastic card, but it's quite a good card. It's like 7 or 8 or 10 or so, which is probably like 1 less than that. So if Molten is on 7.5, I would argue for, out of 10 card, this is probably like 6.5 or a 7, depending on your deck. So yeah, it's an okay card in Arena. It's an okay card. Then we have Quartz Elemental. It's hard to tell. I like this card. I like it a lot. Yeah, 5/8 for 5. Great stats. Makes sense for Arena. Very, very high stat thing. Is it good or not? If you think it depends on what you face, right? If you face a mage, then it's quite annoying because you probably just ping it every round. You can heal it up again, I suppose. But otherwise, it's much better against like Shaman and so on. It actually probably is a pretty good card. Because it's not, well, depends. You can hit one thing. Yeah. You can kill something once, and after that you have to heal like maybe 2-3 times. That's really annoying, but easy to heal with like one little minion or a ping at it, or maybe a small AoE. So it probably gets 1 minion, and then you heal it up very slowly, and then it gets another minion very later. But I think that has 8 life, so the opponent probably won't go for it, right? So yeah, it's hard to tell. I think it's like probably a mediocre pick to have there. Very high value, very slow. Yeah, I think it depends how long can your deck survive. Healing these things out yourself. That's probably how you look at it. But otherwise, yeah, if you call it out turn 4, it's really amazing. You kill the Yeti, sure, that has only 4 that has healed it twice, that's pretty fine. And if you hit it up, you can use it again. Yeah, it might be a good card. It might be a good one. I like it. Interesting card. It's a lot of gameplay at least. You have to decide if you want to heal it or yourself and so on, or other, more important minions. So it's a very interesting card. Good design. They have the Glitter Moth. This of course is not very playable in Arena because they have to have the odd thing, right? So yeah, yeah, kind of like that. And if you get a double life thing, that is not amazing, but it's pretty good. So, but yeah, like you can't construct a deck like this in Arena. So with the other classes, I feel you might maybe do the whole odd and even class. But for Priest specifically, it's a hard thing because Priest has to really use the different kind of heals you get. Priest is very important to just take every removal you get and so on, get the correct cards to survive. So for a Priest to have either odd or even, that is the hardest thing in the whole game. Maybe I'm wrong because I haven't looked at exactly what the mana cost for everything is for every class. But generally, to me, it feels like a gut feeling for me is like Priest is probably the hardest time doing one of those in Arena, right? So I think this card is going to be completely unplayable in Arena. It might be amazing in depending on how good that deck itself is, right? So next card, Holy Water. Yeah, this is a great card. I think this is a great card. I tweeted about this a few weeks back. Right? I think it's an amazing card actually for Constructed. People comparing it to, I don't know, Holy, like N2 is probably more correct. Yeah. So you do 4 damage for 5 mana, which is really bad. I mean, obviously it's bad, but you get the copy, right? And this is actually a really, really strong control card Constructed. Because obviously you mainly will kill the Lich King or whatever, right? You will kill their big minion that you know has a great effect, and then you can have it yourself, right? So you have 1 legendary minion probably in your deck already, and then you copy their minions, you have 2 of those, right? And think about it, it's also like Battle Cry because you play it, so you copy like the new Mage legendary, that gives you like a Battle Cry new legendary, not the best maybe, but for example you can play it, right? So this feels like a really, really, really good control Priest card, and which I think is very exciting design for it. So for Arena then, it feels like it has really high value. Not as constructed, but clear here, you kill a minion, and then you can play it later. So you also kill a bomb for them, then you can play their bomb, right? So that gives you a card. It's like a cheap mind control sense, delayed mind control. Because usually you probably want to kill something at like 4 or 5 mana, so you can play it right away, right? Hit it with your minion, kill it with minion, play the minion, yeah, like a 5/5/5, and that is a lot of value, yeah. That is really high value. If you look at that, if you kill like a 5/4, like the Steam Church, for example, then it costs 4 mana. In this case, then you get, for 9 mana, you get the 5/4. So it's basically like mind control in that case, yeah. Exactly. It's like a mind control against cheap minions. 5 or down, which you can play if you can kill them, play it, yeah. Which is great. So that's great. It might be able to copy the legendary, which might be really important. Yeah, I think it's kind of a great card. And Tomb was always very, very, very strong in Arena, because you can just take their legendary, right? So if they had a luck to get a good legendary, you go, oh, it took it, and you get later on. So that was really awesome. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good card in Arena, and it's very interesting for Constructor. Then they did it in white, with people all like, oh my god, it's the best card ever, it's going to change the... yeah. So every card you get picked in the fire is a cool effect. They're definitely going to become, in your fire decks are going to come, right? Which already exists, of course. You're going to in the fire decks, people are going to play this thing, or the really high health minions, and they, of course, play double in the fire, double life buff, and so on. Which is like, yeah, it's pretty cool, but I think this is probably a really bad card, generally. Maybe that deck is going to be something amazing, and then it actually is really good, like the whole in the fire deck. They obviously need this card, but... low chance for that happening, but I actually think this card might be pretty good in Extracted, but not aimed for this deck. So what I mean that is that if you play this card Extracted, and you have a generally slow control deck as a priest, right, and you have, for example, the 4/8 with lifesteal, that really all right there, you play that minion because it's also a minion, and then you play this card as well. As an 8/8 now, yeah. So I think that is gonna be how this card will work. You have it in generally a high health priest deck, which because that priest works, right, and then play this thing. I think that's gonna be how it really works, right? In my opinion, that's probably gonna be make it strong. But in the arena, then yeah, it's probably bad. It's a 5/5 for 6. That's horrible. No impact when you play it. Those cards that need high health, you pick them in arena. Yeah, some of them I like that, right? You pick those cards, so it's not the worst, but it's probably quite unplayable. I mean, compared to Chameleos, which is like an amazing card, and even in Arena, I think this is like, there are better neutral cards. I think the biggest thing is because 6 mana, quite high, right, and there's no impact when you play it. Like Chameleos, everything you're building here in Arena, you know everything they have, right? You're gonna know everything they have, and that, even if you never play it, you know everything. So that's like a huge advantage, like an amazing advantage. Even if you're having no impact, it has the proactive knowledge that makes you a great strategy. So... no, this is way worse than that. And then lastly, super cards. We have Coffin Crasher and then it's a Dragon. Dragon I like, so yeah. Coffin Crasher, yeah, I think it's a really high value card. It's 6/5 with 6, for 6. You summon that mid-death minion. Obviously very priest, high death rattle, right, love death minions. As well in arena, it's pretty good. And it's like a Bone Dragons, same stats, which is usually pretty good, and here you get a Death Rattle instead. You need a minion in your hand though, but if you have a Death Rattle minion, as long as it costs like 3 or more mana, which most of them do, that's pretty fine. Yeah, so I think it's probably a pretty good card in Arena. Of course, it depends on how many Death Rattle you have, because 6/5 for 6 isn't that good, but isn't that worse either. I mean, worst case scenario is like a Ogre with 2 headless, which is a pretty big deal, but still, that's playable. That is still playable. If you play the Bone Break, the Bone Break usually gets something right. And then you get a Dragon, which makes it much better than this card. Yeah, Bone Break is much better than this card, but the stats in itself isn't that horrible. They're workable, so yeah, this is probably a pretty good card. But if you come with some I like Bone Break, then it's amazing, right? So probably a good card. And then we have the Night Scale Matriarch. So I think it's a good card. I think it actually is a really good card in Arena. For me, it seems very, very strong, actually. Not like this amazing, it's gonna break the whole thing, and you do this thing, and you just completely breaks the game. But it feels like it's very reasonable strong, because you play this card, and it has 9 life, right, for 7 mana, which is really, really high. So you probably can't get rid of it very easily on the list. And if you heal a friendly minion, of course, including itself, heal the matter itself, she spawns more whelps right there. And 4/9, so 4 is enough to kill most stuff. And yeah, this card to me seems really good, because you probably can play her outright, And she got 7 mana, so it's very high likelihood you can play her at turn 9 or 10, heal something you have, get a 3/3 and her. That's like, so that's 9 mana though, but that means that this card itself at least will give you, you know, a 4/9 plus a 3/3 probably. And then she's really hard to remove. She survives almost every spell, right? You need like Hexer, Polymorpher, Meteor, Killer Course, like the really massive stuff, but she won't die health-wise for the spells. And she's a dragon, right? And you have this, you know, if you have a dragon in your hand, some of them of course are going out now, but you have some other ones still, right? So yeah, being a dragon for priests is very important. It's just that's very important. It's going to be less important, of course, you know, because and so on, but generally still it's an important thing, and future expansion I'm probably going to have more if you have a dragon in your hand. So I think it's like a very strong card actually. Probably one of the strongest rare cards. This is a 7 mana cost though, and it probably best play at turn 9 or more, giving it's super slow though, so that is a problem of course. You want to play it very late game. As again, you probably want to play it at turn 9, right, to get the immediate 3/3, or the safe 3/3 effect, so makes it a little risky to play of course. But generally, the priest is the slowest deck in Arena, and if you get to turn 7, 8 and so on, this is going to be a great card to have. And again, I think the 4 attack power is enough to kill most of the face. And yeah, she combines with the lower priest card. Yeah, I think it's a great card. I look forward to playing priest with this card, definitely. But generally, though, I think that priest, the uncommon cards, the 2/1, I think is pretty good. Chameleos is good. Lady is probably the biggest card. The epics aren't that fantastic. What's missing here, I suppose, for priest is any new spell, right? There's no like. There's no Dragon Fire Potion, there's no like a massive awesome spell here. I mean, it's an EV effect, so priests have issues with that. But the other priest, the Holy Water is great though. You can throw something at it. I think that's a great, like a cheaper mind control. That is a great card. And it's a very good removal card in Arena because they have extreme high value. But there's no EV, and that's probably the biggest issue. But the minions are pretty good and so on. So I think priest generally is a little stronger from this expansion. See you guys in the next class video.